Hello, everybody. I am about to start something that I have wanted to do for quite some time. I'm not sure if there's an actual term for it. I always call it emerging art. I'm going to carve something from this trunk, this branch. Again, I don't know what this is. It's quite dense. It feels heavy. It does have some wider ring pattern on it, but hopefully it's not going to be something that just falls apart and doesn't hold detail real well. But something I found, so I'm going to give it a shot. It's going to be an eagle emerging from this piece, and what I mean by that is you're going to see the detail of the eagle at the top, and then it's going to come down, and at the bottom it's going to look like it's still in the wood, like the wood hasn't, like I haven't finished carving that piece. So it's just going to emerge out of this chunk of wood. I've done eagles before, so I know how to carve those, but I've not done an emerging piece like this. So we'll do this together, see how it goes, and follow along, see if you want to give it a shot. So let's get started. I think I'll go ahead and start off with this cutting wheel to kind of give us a basic shape. I've drawn the top view of an eagle up here. I don't want to draw any side views yet because it's, I'm going to try to keep some of the bark if I can, so it looks more original as far as something that is emerging. All right, interrupting here just for a second. After using every single bit of my patience with the goat from my last video, I have stopped using that cutoff wheel on my Dremel, and I'm using the bandsaw. I went and cut out my basic shape on a bandsaw and got a little bit of a drawing on there. So now I'm going to go in and start shaping this top half, and as I said, it's going to be an emerging piece, so I'm going to just start doing a little bit at the top on here so that I can come down and see where I want it to start blending into the wood base, into the branch itself, and look like it's just not a finished carving that's been started and not complete. So hopefully you'll see what I'm talking about here shortly. So back to it. Coming out of there and a beak, and now I need to figure out where the shoulders would be and where the feathers are and how they're going to blend into the bark or whatever it is I'm going to do down here. So I've got a really good rough setup of this eagle head. Again, I got my bandsaw to the rescue to help me shape this a little bit faster. This video would be 3 hours long if I just sat there and used that bit. If you don't have a bandsaw and you want to try this one at home, you can get a coping saw. You can use like a flat edge saw, something. Even your scroll saw if you have one of those. But this can be done Or you can use the cutoff wheel. Just continue to use that. It's just a little bit slower process than a bandsaw, but faster than just the carving bit. Okay, I'm going to stop for now. What I'm going to do is I need to look at some photos. I want to get some details, get the head and the beak just right, get the feathers on his wings, and those are going to blend down in and become bark. Both sides, tail feathers, same thing in the back. And I may have like the ends of his feet sticking out somewhere over here, the claws. And that'll be next. I can't wait. I took a look at a couple of photos here, and I added a little bit of detail up on, where the eye's going to go, and that this nose needs to be brought down a bit for the beak, and then where the mouth would be, each eye socket, how that's going to work. And then I also put in a little bit of a drawing here to give me an idea of how far down the white would come on the white feathers on a bald eagle, just so I have an idea of where that is. That may need to come up some. I may have it too far down, but we'll see. Printed out an image, just one that I kind of liked, and that's where I'm kind of basing my stuff off of. I also have hand drawn some detail parts just so I can get an idea, a better idea. Now this is a little bit more simplified so that I don't have all the feather detail and what have you in there, but I feel like the beak is too peaked up here. It's too high, close to the face, so I want to cut that back just a little bit. And then I want to go ahead and start putting the details into the eyes. And yes, I'm not done with this lower half here, but I want to get the detail in here so that I can then see how I feel, how I want this to be emerging from out of the piece of wood. How I want it to, I don't want to have a full-bodied eagle in here, in that I want it to look as if it's an incomplete piece. So I'm going to go ahead and continue now. I'm going to go ahead and clean up here, take this down just a bit, and then get some detail in the eyes and the brows, and maybe even put some feathers in at the top up here just to give it a look so we can see where we are. I drew the front view of what it's going to look like, and then the side, back, and the other side. And I want to go ahead and start roughing that portion out right now. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit more detail into these feathers to give them a little more definition, and yeah, we'll see how we look. So here you can see that, yes, I am actually putting in individual feathers. It's really, they're not obviously at actual size or anything, but it is going to give the effect of feathers. And I am doing them one by one. It's kind of tedious. I'm not going to sit here and let this video run and show you every single one that I put in. That would just take forever to do. But as you can see, up near the head, I'm going to go ahead and do just smaller ones. And then as we get down further, you'll see that these things start getting a little bit bigger. I'm also trying to undercut them as I do it. It doesn't get, at first I'm not actually undercutting, but I am just putting in the outline of it. And then, then I'll move down and get larger and larger feathers so that you can see them a little bit better as we go. Here I'm actually putting in the hard part of the feather right down the center as we go along, just to give it a little bit more detail. Here you can see is where I'm starting to do undercutting. Get underneath the feathers above, so it looks like the ones below are coming out from underneath those. And I'm not doing every single one. There's just no way, it would take too long. And I also didn't do every single one of those smaller ones up at the top either. Just some of the larger ones and just randomly around. Here I'm just cleaning up the burning marks made from either the bandsaw or more than likely from that cutoff disc. I just want it to be smooth and cleaned up a little bit so it looks a little bit more finished down there, even though that is where it is emerging from. Putting on some stain. This is where everything really starts to pop right out. Once you start putting that stain on there, you can really see the detailing that you've done on this. So I've gone and I'm going to go ahead and just stain that whole thing. I don't let it sit very long. just maybe a minute is all. And then I go ahead and I wipe the whole thing down, get it all cleaned off, and make it look really nice. All right, so how's everybody doing? We made it through this one, got to the end of the video. I did a couple of things off camera because I just wasn't pleased with the final look, so I have re-recorded my ending. Here it is, complete, all finished. I did a little of coloring on there because I just felt it looked too light in tone. I wanted to get that bald eagle look, and I think that's been achieved. I also have it emerging, but I kind of wish I would have had some more, like it was more hidden within, but I'm okay with this, and I really like the way it turned out. So hopefully you guys can follow along. This is a long time coming, and I do apologize for the delay once again, that it's taken me this long to get to this one, get it up and loaded and edited and all that good stuff. So thank you all for watching, subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do that. Give it a like, share it with your friends that may also have an interest in wood carving, and go out and carve. Have some fun today.